Hello, thank you for joining me. This is Wednesday, the 3rd of November, and it's time for another thought for the day. So, without any further preamble, let's plunge right in. I want to begin by reminding you of the Colosseum in Rome, that great amphitheatre which you can still go and visit today. In fact, maybe some of you have already done that. But it was huge in the ancient world when it was built. It's still huge today. It was completed in about 80 AD, which is about 45 or 50 years or thereabouts after the crucifixion of the Lord Jesus Christ. It's in the centre of Rome, as you know, and it was built to accommodate approximately 75,000 people. Now that's big by today's standards. That's bigger than a lot of our huge football stadiums. So if it's big by today's standards, you can imagine what it must have been like in those days. So it's built in Rome, and of course it has to be opened with a bit of a fanfare. So the emperor at that time decided to have some games, inaugural games, to open this new Colosseum in Rome. Now these games lasted for 100 days. That's what they were designed for. And we still have the timetable, if you like, of what went on during those games. They lasted all day, every day for 100 days. And in the morning, usually, the vast majority of the mornings, were occupied with animals. Animals were captured and brought to the Colosseum, and they were killed in the Colosseum. Now, not just in a straightforward manner. They would get animals to fight other animals. They would get slaves or people or gladiators to fight animals. But animals were usually on the agenda every morning. And again, the Romans were very good. They kept all the records. And we're told that during these inaugural games, there were over 9,000 animals killed in the Colosseum. Now, again, these weren't just any animals. These were wild animals. These were elephants and rhinos and lions and tigers and crocodiles that had been gathered from the four corners of the empire and brought to Rome specifically for these games. In fact, as the games went on over the centuries, there was actually beginning to be a shortage of wild animals in the Mediterranean area, North Africa and so forth, because so many were taken and brought to Rome. So we've been harming wildlife, not just in our present age, but for quite some time now. And there was, towards the end of the Roman Empire, there was a shortage of some of these wild animals in the world at large. But anyway, that was the morning. Animals hunted or fighting each other in some way, shape or form to begin the day. At midday, there was usually an interlude, but there was still stuff going on in the Colosseum, and it was around midday that the criminals were brought in and executed. So again, there must have been a fair amount of criminals who lost their lives in this way. And again, they weren't granted a quick, clean, easy death, if I can describe it that way. Some of these executions were horrific, and that was during the midday period, when a lot of the well-to-do would actually have gone and had their lunch or something to eat. In the afternoon, that would have been filled with the famous fights among the gladiators. So there would have been wall-to-wall gladiator fights, sometimes one-on-one, sometimes a group against one, sometimes two groups against each other, sometimes they even reenacted battles in history. And of course, it had to be more and more elaborate and more exotic to keep people's interest. So that was what went on in the Colosseum for those 100 days as it was officially opened, but also there were games on a regular basis. And the idea behind all this was quite simple. It took people's minds off not only their own problems, but problems in the country or in the empire. There was plague, there was famine, there was all sorts of problems in those days. And to distract the people from those major problems and problems that they had in their own lives, these lavish games would be put on to entertain the people and to distract them from other more pressing problems. So it's a classic case of distraction, distracting us from the troubles of the day. Now, they went to tremendous lengths to distract people and to keep them content, keep them happy. And I was just reflecting on that, friends, because, you know, the exact same thing is going on today. Perhaps not on such a barbaric scale, but certainly in a more subtle way. There was a phrase that was quoted and has been coined ever since. I think it emerged about 1985 in a discussion. I don't know whether it was a debate or something on television, but there was a famous author who said, regarding ourselves nowadays, we are amusing ourselves to death. And the phrase stuck because it rings true, friends. When we think about so many in society today, that is exactly what we are doing. We are being amused or entertained or distracted, and that's going on right up until we die. We're being distracted by the media. We're being distracted by television. Think of how many hours we spend just vegetating in front of television. Sport is another tremendous distraction and interest for people. There's all sorts of games, not just on the sports field, but on the screen as well. Our screens increasingly are entertaining us. And the idea, the premise behind all this is that as we are being entertained, as we are being amused, we are being kept entertained until death. And of course, when we think about that, if we're being amused and entertained and distracted, it doesn't give us very much time to focus on other pressing, more important matters. And we lose ourselves in this world of entertainment. Some of our young people, even not even always our young people, but a lot of people are now substituting the realities of life for the comfort of a virtual world in which they can be something that they cannot attain to in real life. So we're being distracted from so much. And friends, I have to say that also includes being distracted from the things of God and the way of salvation. We're so wrapped up and so distracted by so many other things, we're not focusing on the important things of life. The important things of this world, yes, climate change, war, violence, poverty, famine. We're being distracted from focusing on all that by the entertainment we're enjoying, but also we're being distracted from the very things of God, the things that we should be focusing on, the things we should be spending time on, the things that we should be thinking about and meditating upon. So I just want to flag that up as a warning. It's not right, it's not good to be found amusing ourselves to death. So I'm just leaving the thought or the question with you. Is that what you're doing? Are you amusing or are you entertaining yourself? Filling your life with that until there's no life left? Or Are you focusing on the realities of life, the problems of life, the things that need attended to, and of course the things of God, which are the things of eternity and the most important things of all? Don't fall for the world's trap, or the evil one's trap, of being distracted, of amusing or being amused unto death. Let's keep our sound mind and our focus on the things that matter. And let's not forget about the Lord and the things of the Bible. So there you have it. There's nothing new under the sun. People were being diverted, distracted, entertained thousands of years ago in Rome. They've been diverted, distracted, entertained ever since, and it's still going on today. Don't let it happen to you. Keep your eyes fixed on the Lord and on the things that matter, the things of eternity, before there's no life left and hope is gone. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that history lesson, but I hope you think about the thought that I've left you with as well. Focus on the things that really matter, the things of eternity. Thank you for listening. Keep safe, and I look forward to chatting to you again soon. Until then, bye for now.